So what is WUE and what can you do to take advantage of it and boost your yield up to 30% in your grow? Stick around and watch this entire video to get all of the information you need to do exactly that. My name is CE420. If you have not yet, hit that subscribe button if you are new, because you do not want to miss out on any of the gardening information that I share on this channel. But without further ado, what's WUE stand for and how can we take advantage of it? So WUE actually stands for water usage efficiency, or water use efficiency. And that refers to how much water your plant is using or how much water is going away versus how much of it is being used in the plant. So we're getting to the water usage efficiency is maximizing the amount of water that goes into your plant and is actually used for plant growth. And that's extremely important when you're talking about uptake in nutrients and you're talking about boosting yield and you're talking about getting more terpenes. It's important for all aspects of your growth. So how do you take advantage of it and how do you maximize your potential in your grow? Well, there's a couple things you can do, and I recommend sticking around for all of the tips. So thing number one, if you're running HPS or metal haloid lights, it is a very great time right now to switch to LED. And a big reason why, not only are they more efficient to run, giving off less heat while having more intense light for your plants to use to grow, the lower heat emissions actually allow your plant to not perspirate as much and not have to open up their pores. When they open up their pores to try to get more CO2 in, and they try to get out water, well, they're trying to breathe in CO2, which is a very important part of photosynthesis. And if it's extremely hot, not only is your plant going to perspirate more, your plant is also going to have a harder time finding more CO2 because the parts per million is going to be lower, because the air density is going to be lower, because all of the particles are going to be spread because of the heat. So if you have not yet switched to LED, this year's grow is not too late. You definitely want to switch to LED. Give your plants the best they can to try to maximize that water use efficiency, and that's going to give your plant more energy and it's going to help with the yield. Another way to maximize WUE is to use a mulch layer and take advantage, and this can be implemented in a couple of ways. You can either get hay or some other type of organic matter and spread that on the soil and make a decent layer, or you can do a chop and drop method where when you're doing a defoliation or you're doing a heavy lollipopping, you're just letting those leaves fall down to the soil. And what this is actually going to do is it's going to give you a good mulch layer to add water retention to your pot, because what happens normally is if your soil is uncovered, the water will evaporate into the air. But the good thing about this is it increases humidity, but that's what we have a humidifier for. So there is no purpose in letting your water go to waste by sending it into the air when we already have monitors for this that are much more efficient for that. So let your plant water be your plant water and let your humidifier water be your humidifier water. This is going to, again, give your plant more water use efficiency because it is not wasting a ton of water just going into the air where there's supposed to be water anyway. Now, the last thing you can do is supplementing with CO2. Now, again, this is to help your plants not perspirate as much. They have little pores on their flesh, their leaves, that open up when they're trying to get more CO2, similar to how our eyes dilate when we are seeing different ranges of light. When we're trying to get more light in, our pupils will dilate and open up, and when we're trying to get less light, they will close up to regulate our sight. And this also is the principle behind regulating CO2 intake. When there's not much CO2 in the air, it obviously needs to open up more. So When you are looking at supplementing with CO2, first I would monitor how much CO2 is in your grow tent and see if it is sufficient, because a lot of people who grow in their homes, they'll have plants, they'll have humans, they'll have animals living with them that will exhale CO2 throughout the day, increasing the ppm in the air, and maybe supplementing with CO2 is already a byproduct of your living situation. But if you do need to supplement CO2 to get more saturated numbers and decrease how much water is escaping your plant due to the perspiration process and photosynthesis, you are going to need to supplement with CO2 to increase the parts per million, shrink those holes up, and increase your WUE. And yes, the NASA studies have shown this can increase your yield by up to 30%. So these things are definitely worth looking into. But if you got value out of today's video, leave a like. It really helps out the channel, and it also gets this video to more people. And if you have not yet and you are new, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications every time I upload. Check out Hiker's Cannabis, and I will see you next time.